Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had one of those days where you list 15, 20 items, you make a few sales, and you feel like you're absolutely smashing it? Then the next week, you sit back and do nothing. Because I have, and I've done it more times than I'd like to admit. And for years, I thought the secret to growing a successful reselling business was buying more stock, getting a bigger store, finding better charity shops, finding better brands, finding better suppliers. But I was wrong. The thing that actually changed my business wasn't what I bought, it's what I did day in and day out. Now, momentum isn't built on motivation. It's built on discipline and consistency. And those two things aren't glamorous. It's not exciting. It doesn't make flashy YouTube thumbnails. Nobody's posting on social media, I did the same action 50 times over and over again for 3 or 4 hours, are they? But that's exactly how businesses are built, through being consistent with the boring stuff. There's a quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. He said, "No great thing is created suddenly." And that's reselling in one sentence. A successful eBay store isn't built suddenly. A successful Vinted business isn't built suddenly. A 6-figure pipeline isn't built suddenly. It's built one listing at a time. It's built one sale at a time. Now, before we go any further, if you're enjoying what I'm talking about and you're finding it useful, it all comes from my audiobook, Road to 100K. It's a story about how I went from zero to £28,000 in sales in a year whilst working full time as a teacher and raising 4 children. It's my blueprint for making £100,000 in revenue, and it includes all of the systems I use, all of the mistakes I've made, and all of the lessons I've learned along the way are in there. I've made the first chapter completely free, so you can download it in the link down below in the description. Back to it. Everyone wants the breakthrough, but very few people want the repetition that creates it. The truth is, reselling will chew you up if you treat it like a slot machine. A few flips here, a few flips there, then nothing for weeks. That's how most people do it. And that's why most people never get beyond hobby money. The difference between a reseller making a few quid and a reseller building a serious business is surprisingly simple. It's consistency. When I stopped dabbling and started working to a rhythm, everything changed. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about the most important activity in reselling, listing. Listing is everything. You can have the greatest stock in the world sitting in your spare room. You can have rails full of Ralph Lauren, stacks of vintage Levi's, a mountain of stock you've sourced cheaply. But if it's not listed and on a platform, it means absolutely nothing. It's worthless. It's inventory, not income. And that's a distinction lots of people miss, because buying stock feels productive. Sourcing is fun, finding bargains is exciting, but listing is what gets you paid. I learned early on that platforms like eBay and Vinted reward activity. Now, I'm not saying there's a magic button. I'm not saying that if you list one item, eBay will send you a marching band and give you a fanfare and you'll sell an item. But the more active you are, the more opportunities you create. More listings lead to more chances of being seen. More chances of being seen leads to more watchers. More watchers leads to more offers, and more offers leads to more sales. It's not rocket science, it's maths. 100 listings, some sales. 500 listings, more sales. 1,000 listings, more sales. The problem is most people list in bursts. They have one productive day, then they disappear and they come back a week later, then disappear again. I used to do exactly the same thing. I'd smash out 20 listings in a day and be really pleased with myself, smug almost, then nothing for days, sometimes a whole week. Then I'd sit there thinking to myself, why am I getting those sales? What I eventually realised was consistent, steady listings every day beats occasional hero bursts every single time. 10 listings every single day beats one day of listing 70, because consistency builds momentum. Consistency keeps stock flowing. Consistency keeps sales coming. Consistency keeps your business moving forwards. And this isn't just motivational waffle, the research backs it up as well. Studies on habit formation show that behaviours become more automatic when they're repeated consistently in the same context. In plain old English, that means the more you do something as part of a routine, the less you have to argue with yourself about doing it. That matters massively in reselling, because if every day you're having to argue with yourself about whether or not you're going to list that day, you've already lost the battle. You need listing to become normal, not dramatic, not a big event, just part of the day, like brushing your teeth, except for instead of fresh breath, you get sales and money, which is a much better deal, really, isn't it? Now, people often tell me they don't have time, and I totally get it. I really do. I'm a full-time teacher. I have 4 daughters. I've got family commitments. I've got YouTube. I've got church. Life is busy. But the truth is, most of us don't need more time. We need better systems, because motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll feel like listing, and some days you just won't. Sometimes you'll just want to sit on the sofa and watch Netflix. I get it. That's normal. The problem comes when your business depends on motivation, because motivation disappears. Systems don't. There's another bit of useful research here. Psychologists have looked at something called implementation intentions, which sounds really clever, but basically it means making a proper plan, not just saying I'll list more. That's useless. It's fog. That's the kind of goal that sounds good for 3 seconds and then vanishes into thin air. A better version is, I'll list items at 7 o'clock, or I'll list 5 items after dinner, or I'll list this before I sit down for the evening. It tells you where, it tells you what the job is. For me, batching changed everything. Instead of photographing one item, listing up one item, and then starting all over again, I do everything in batches. So all of my photos in a batch, all of the listings in a batch, I put everything in the loft in a batch. That way, I can do my photographing in the morning, and if I have a spare 20 minutes in the evening, once the kids have gone to bed, I can do all my listings. That way, I'm not dragging out lights, I wasn't measuring clothes, I wasn't sorting through bags. The photos are already there, so the work's already half done. This made the process much easier. And when the process becomes easier, consistency becomes easier. Eventually, I developed a simple flow. Source, clean, photograph, list, ship, repeat. That's it. Nothing clever, nothing complicated, just a repeatable system, and systems scale. Motivation doesn't. Now let's talk the numbers game, because this is where people get frustrated. They'll list 20 items and expect a life-changing event, but unfortunately that's not how this works. Reselling is a volume game. Yeah, you can get lucky. You can find one brilliant item. You can get one amazing flip and turn £5 into 50. And that's great, but you can't build a business on lucky flips. You build it by creating enough opportunities for sales to happen consistently. The more quality items you have listed, the more opportunities you create. Some items will sell quickly, some will sit for months. Some will make little money, some will surprise you, and that's completely normal. The goal isn't to find perfection. The goal is to keep the conveyor belt moving, because every sale creates cash flow, every sale creates confidence, every sale creates momentum, and momentum is where the magic happens. And not because any actual magic is happening, but because the numbers start working in your favor. You stop relying on one item selling, on one lucky flip. You stop relying on one good sourcing day, and you build a machine that keeps moving whether you're excited or not, whether you're motivated or not, whether you're having a good week or not. And that's when reselling becomes a business and is no longer a hobby. So if there's one lesson I want you to take from this, it's consistency beats intensity every single time. I'd rather see somebody list 5 items a day for a whole year than 50 items once a week. Because the person showing up is the person building habits. They're building systems. They're building momentum, and momentum is incredibly powerful. Epictetus had it right. No great thing is created suddenly. Not a 6-figure business, not financial freedom, not a successful reselling store. Those things are built one listing at a time, one habit at a time. I'm not the smartest reseller in the world. I'm not the biggest reseller in the world, but I am consistent. And that consistency has helped me build a business alongside a full-time job, a family, and everything else that life throws at me. So here's a challenge. For the next 7 days, set yourself a listing goal. Not unrealistic, not something that sounds impressive, but something you can actually hit. Maybe it's 5 listings, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 15. I don't care what the number is. What matters is that you hit it every day. Now let's see your listing targets in the comments below, and I'll hold you accountable. If you're following along with the road to 100k and you're enjoying the systems and lessons and strategies that I'm putting out on these videos, do please download the first chapter of the audiobook. It's in the link below. It's completely free. See whether you like it, and if you do, why not get the whole thing? It's in the link below, so have a look. Over and out. Beardy Bert. Ciao.